morning, friends. I was just going to share with you what a typical morning looks like in the life of a lymphedema patient. I'm just finishing up my red light therapy. I use this on my knees because I have osteoarthritis and my knees are painful most of the day, through the night, all of that sort of thing. So the red light therapy is for that. Later in the day, I will go down and I will sit in the sauna and get some of that heat penetrating my legs. But that's after I do some workout kind of things around the house that I need to get accomplished. I also use a product called diclofenac sodium. It's a topical gel. I get this in a pill form also. This helps with some of the pain. So this is just the first therapy in the morning. I'll do this, and when I finish this, I have everything here handy. So red light therapy goes in this drawer. And then out comes another fun tool, compression boots. So these are the things that you have lymphedema, all that you may want to invest in. It is an investment. Insurance is not covering this. They may, if you have lymphedema, they may cover some things. If you have lipedema, they don't cover anything. So I have these boots, left and right. That's the left. This is the right. And so what I do is slip my feet into the boot. It's a full leg. I'll zip that up. Put the top portion on. And then comes the left boot. Easiest to put your foot in sitting down. Remember, you don't want to fall on top of everything else and break something, because osteoporosis will get you in the end with broken bones. Okay, so we'll zip that up. That. Okay, my moon boots. Let's see if I can bring you down a little bit. Bring me down. Yep, there they are. The moon boots. Can't do much else with that on. So it's got several settings, and I will plug this in and get going. I do several sessions of compression because when I turn this on, it has different modes. Circulation. I have to be able to read this. Okay. It has a combination, circulation, and sequence. And so I will run through those. It has strength, so that's how much compression you're getting with the boot. Let me get this up here. And it also has heat. So you can set all of those modes in here. And what it does is this pumps up and compresses the leg. So while that's working, I have a few other things that I need to do. I am working on recipes. These are my egg muffin cups, so I'm writing down what I want to do. I'm also reading up on lymphedema, lipedema nutrition guide because I'm working very hard on my nutrition. Because before I do anything surgical, I think I'd like to drop a few more pounds. What did you say? I'm stage 3 for the lipedema. Stage 3 is large extrusions of tissue causing deformation, especially on the thighs around the knees. Yep, that's me. So, and those are stages, and then there are also types of lipedema, and I also am a type 3, which is in the buttocks and ankles, and also type 4 in the arms and legs. So stage 3 before weight reduction is what I've written here. My knees are looking more normal because I used to have these globules right here on my knees, and those have diminished some. Anyway, what I've had are these painful fibrotic masses in my legs and arms for years, and what they've done is I've gone to see a plastic surgeon, and he has, well, so I can't even tell you how many plastic surgeons I've been to. They have excised those lumps as they become more painful. So let me get the camera off of here and do something else. Next, we move to the patio and the vibration plate. The vibration. Now, if you have good balance, you can stand on this, you can do all kinds of things. I'm working up to doing some of the exercises on here, but for now, I can sit on it, I can sit down. You can see it's jiggling my entire leg. So after I do all of this, I'll get my cup of coffee. But before I do coffee, the first thing I do in the morning is I need to hydrate. So I've made a pact with myself. I can have coffee if I drink a bottle of water prior to that. So excuse me while I have some hydration. Okay. Once this is done, I'll don my rubber gloves. Remember, these are donning gloves that you get to help assist you get all of that stuff on, because it's not easy getting all of this stuff on. And this is Sigvaris pantyhose, which is what my doctor has recommended. It's a 20-30, so that means there's more compression on the lower extremities, and it changes as it comes up the leg. And you can actually order these on Amazon. I got this pair from the doctor. Even after they measured me, they gave me the wrong size, so I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I might have to see if I can sell them to somebody else or just keep them until I get smaller, because they gave me a medium. Do these legs look like a medium? Come on. So on the back of the box, it tells you to measure your ankles and your calf and your knee and your hip. And when I do that, and I went out to Fittings Unlimited, which is a place here who helps women that have had cancer, and I've had cancer, get the right kind of fittings for their body. And she measured me and she said, well, we don't have anything that's going to fit you because my lipedema in my hips is so much larger than anywhere else on my leg that they don't make a garment that will fit the lower extremities and my hip. So I'm going to have something specially made to fit. Imagine that. I don't know what that's going to cost. Now the doctor, because I have lymphedema, and there is a difference between lipedema and lymphedema, and I have both. Because I have lymphedema, insurance may pay a portion of that specially designed garment for my legs. A portion, and only one. And I don't know how often. That's something else I need to find out. But while I sit around doing these kinds of therapies is when I start thinking about, flipping through and figuring out what I'm going to do. In this book by Karen Herbst, she is a endocrinologist. And when I was first diagnosed, I came here to Des Moines to an endocrinologist, and he says, oh yes, you do have lipedema, but there's nobody in Iowa to treat that. I said, okay, good. So thus I have extended out. I've looked for years because I saw him for that diagnosis in 2022, and now in 2026, 4 years later, I have contacted a vein and lipo center in St. Louis, and I've gone to do my first visit with that doctor. So let me find some glasses. Okay, so where were we? I was talking about Karen Herbst and lymphedema and lipedema nutrition guide. Now there's also information in here about Derkham's disease. If you have that, it's very painful. I do have painful nodules. Nobody can tell me specifically what's going on other than the fact that I have both of these. So this book is like the holy grail for vitamins, food, minerals. Chuck Ehrlich, Ehrlich, is the dietary guy, and you can find him on YouTube. And then you can also find Karen Louise Herbst, Herbst. She is the PhD MD who founded everything to do with the Lipedema Foundation and all of that stuff. So in this book, there are chapters that you're going to want to earmark, and it talks about the different stages. It talks about the different diseases, the one versus the other, and how you can have both. And it also talks about changing your eating patterns. I went to, what do they call that? I went to a allergist and had allergy tests done so that I can figure out what's causing me distress, because I have a lot of gastric distress just from eating and eating healthy things. Yeah, so that's when they found out that I'm allergic to a lot of the foods that I was eating that I thought were healthy, you know, vegetables and fruits and, you know, cantaloupe. Who's allergic to cantaloupe, for crying out loud? Mushrooms, tomatoes, all of that. Now, I'm slowly adding back a little bit of those things at a time to see if I can tolerate a little bit, because I don't want to cut out all that rainbow of color in my diet. But you know, it gives you sample pictures of different patients and what they're going through with both their arms and their legs. And it has different recipes in here, like for Brussels sprouts with lemon, sweet potato casserole, all of that. So I need to figure out what I'm going to cook today, because you saw I went and got a bunch of things. Now, I started following nutrition doctor on YouTube, and he was giving me some good ideas about, you know, making the breakfast things. So, you know, I'm going to make some of my own. I'm writing out recipes for myself, make some of my own egg muffin cups this morning. Do the different combinations of things so that I have things to grab and eat, so I'm not grabbing the wrong thing. I have very little in my house that is the wrong thing anymore, because I got rid of most of that. So this is the folder that came from the physician, and you can see it's got all the stuff. But the recommended treatment plan from Dr. Wright says to use the graded compression, and he wants pantyhose. He wants it all the way up the leg to the core. He wants me to do manual lymphatic drainage. So I contacted a physical therapist here, and I have my first session with him next week. Now, I did this back in 2018. I was going to a massage therapist who was trained in manual lymphatic draining, and it was about $60 a week to do that. It's not cheap, guys. So this, I hope, is good, because they have now diagnosed me with the lymphedema. I think some of this may be picked up by my insurance. We'll see. They're talking about an anti-inflammatory diet, RAD diet. Yeah, I'm working on that, trying to stay away from the things that bother me. And there's all kinds of information in here about medical coding, about why compression matters. You know, it talks about medical grade compression. I mean, he's very thorough. He gives you conservative methods, and then he gives you surgical methods. Well, I'm trying to do the conservative things prior to surgery, just to give me a better outcome before surgery. So I'll bring you along later today as I do some cooking and show you what I'm creating. Now this whole process takes a couple hours in the morning just to get my day started. So when I sit around and say, I wonder what happened to my day, well, this is what happens to my day. And it takes energy and time to follow through with all of this. Now the other thing that I'll do once I get up from the vibration plate and I don my compression gear is I will start taking my supplements, because I have a list of supplements that are supposed to be beneficial for me. So I'll share some of that with you too. I hope you find this informative. You know, I know a lot of people are going through this and suffering, and I want to be able to help other patients that are dealing with this, because I know this has been a lifetime journey for me, and I don't have all the answers, but I'm hoping that in the community of people that I find that are going through this, we can support one another and help each other out. So I'll see you down the road. Bye for now. Just another quick note, another therapy that you can use is, you can do dry brushing. Brush your legs, your arms with a brush, or you can get something like this, which is what I use. It just fits on my hand, and I can move the lymph up my leg, down up my arm using this, and then there's a rag that also has that additional, I don't know what you call it, exfoliant. Anyway, try those things, see if that helps. So I have donned my old lady compression tights, and I will get my shoes on and get ready for the day.